welcome to, I've got January's here, we're not in January, we are in March, Redcar and Cleveland Business Network, and I hope February went well for you. That we were just saying it just seemed to just really whiz by, I don't know really where that went. For those who don't know me, my name is Darren Winter, I'm the Director of Deco Digital, and together with Karen King from King Celebrant Services, we co-manage and volunteer to do this, the Redcar and Cleveland Business Network. A big thank you to Redcar and Cleveland Borough Council who provide the room, the refreshments and the underground car parking for free, and to Be Financial who support the website redcarclevelandbusinessnetwork.com. A few notes here, all the events are recorded and they'll be available to watch again on the social networks later today. There is no fire alarm evacuation plan, so if the alarm does sound, please follow the green running man out to the steps on the left-hand side. There's also a main staircase on the right, and that's where you'll also find the loos as well. Okay, on today's agenda, we're going to shortly invite each of you to introduce yourself and your business in 15 seconds as an elevator pitch. And now we've got some new people in the room today, so there's nothing to be scared about. It's just literally just stand up, say who you are, your name, and what your business is and what you do. There'll also be an opportunity at the end of today's session to promote an event as well. So just focus on who you are and what you do now, and then save the events and offers and things like that later on. Guest speakers this month are David Laing, they're back there from the Clucking Pig, and Lauren Bywater from Parks Alive. I just want to say a few words about coronavirus, okay, because that's obviously a big topic at the moment. It's important to talk about it because the potential is it can be quite devastating for all of us here in the room, okay, so no matter if you're just online or if you've got your high street stores, it's particularly a big issue. So my personal advice is that you need to start thinking about putting some plans into action, things like staffing management, okay. There's a really good article that I posted on the Redcar and Cleveland Business Network page, Facebook page, from the Federation of Small Businesses. Have a look at it. It's a really good article. We shared it on Twitter as well this week. That's pinned up on Facebook. It talks through a lot of practical advice, things that I hadn't even thought about or considered. So definitely have a look at that. Some extra things here that I've kind of written down. Things like thorough hand washing, which we've been told about, hand sanitizer stations, extra posters and signs to remind clients and customers just to thoroughly wash their hands. Unfortunately, not everybody does wash their hands when they go to the toilet. So things like that are kind of, again, just easy things that we can all do. I know a few businesses that people that I know have gone out to see recently, they've stopped doing things like handshakes and all that type of stuff. So it's something else you might think about. It is personal choice, nothing you have to do, but it's things you can think about. If anybody does have business concerns, and I know there are a lot, please come and talk to us. Ainsley's here from the business growth team today from the council. We don't promise to have answers to things about coronavirus, we don't, but if there might be some practical things that we might be able to help you with, and maybe some other people would like to go and speak to, then come and talk to us. But just have a think about putting some extra plans into action if the worst happens. What are you going to do if this happens, if that happens, and maybe have just a bit of a strategy about kind of if we do have to close down a little bit for a short while, what you can do about in terms of maybe putting an offer back out there once business does return. Okay, so this is over to you now. I think I'll start off, I'll do an elevator pitch. There's lots of new people in the room, so just to give you a flavour of what you can say. So obviously, you know me, my name is Darren Winter, I'm the Director of Deco Digital. We are a local marketing agency based on Cleveland Business Park, and we design websites, we help people with social media, and shortly we'll be doing artificial intelligence training, especially around about marketing. That's 3 months' time. So that's me. I'm going to pass on to Karen.
Hi, Karen King. I run King Celebrant Services. I offer bespoke wedding, baby naming and sad funeral ceremonies, and I'm also very interested in fostering, if anyone's interested in fostering or even staying put accommodation for children who can't stay with the foster carers and move on, please come and see me afterwards.
Hi, I'm Karen Westcott. I'm a senior strategist at DTW. We're a PR and marketing website agency in Gisborough. I'm here supporting Lauren today because we're actually working with Parks Alive, the new programme to enhance the parks in Redcar and Cleveland.
My name is Lauren. I'm the chair of the Parks Alive Foundation. We're a very new charity, and I'll be telling you a little bit more about it this morning.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Dale. I have just come back into the area and I'm just setting up my own yoga business, Yoga in a Brew. I'm going to be teaching classes at the Sanctuary Room on the Coast Road. I'm very much about yoga, yes, health and fitness, but also how that has benefits for your own mental health. I'm also going to be working with children in schools as well. So it's all in development at the moment, but that's what I'm about, yoga in a brew. Keep your eyes peeled.
Hi, I'm Dawn Smith. We own the Caxton Hotel in Redcar. We've run it for 44 years, so you can have a good business in this town for a long time. We have 30 bedrooms and 2 function rooms. We do functions for anywhere up to 125, so we're here if you need us.
Good morning. My name's Steve Richardson. I'm Director of Stardust Events and Stardust Photo Booths. We hire out photo booths for corporate events, weddings, birthday parties across the borough and across the UK.
Jamie. I'm the apprentice with Duco Digital. We're a marketing agency in Redcar. We do websites, social media, marketing, training.
It takes a lot for him to do though. We've been trying to train him with confidence to stand up there, so that's how he's done that, so it's great. Well done.
Hello, my name's Carol Bennett. Along with my sister June Craven, we have Mr. Bentley's Horsebox Bar. We have a trio of bars. We have an indoor bar as well as the Horsebox, which is obviously for outdoors, and then we have a steam pump ale section as well. We're available for private hires for any kind of events. We only launched the business last September. We've done a few events up at Kirkleatham. You know, we've done the Christmas event up there. We've done the Primrose Bell events, and we've done a couple of private parties now. There was a birthday party and an awards ceremony party. So we can turn our hands to anything. We can offer an alcoholic beverage, or we can do teas, coffees, hot chocolates and mocktails as well if you're looking for something without alcohol. So Mr. Bentley's, give us a ring. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Chloe. I'm from the Link Kick and the Link Charitable Trust. At the Kick I'm an outreach worker, and at the Charitable Trust I'm a child and family wellbeing worker. The Kick provides therapeutic support for young people up to age 13, and the Charitable Trust provides relaxed informal family support.
Hi, I'm Rachel Woodins. I'm seconded to post at Courtney House, which has supported housing to mortgage people 16 to 24 in Redcar and Cleveland and surrounding areas.
Morning everyone, I'm Lisa and I specialise in mortgage and protection advice. So I have access to over 100 different UK lenders and over 12,000 different mortgage products. So I like to think that I can take some of the stress away from helping people to purchase a home. How do you know that going into your bank, who your banker is going to offer you the best mortgage deal? I can compare all the different lenders for you and tell you who's going to be the cheapest for your personal circumstances. Thank you.
Good morning, my name's Lawrence Butterfield. People tend to call me Lol. I've just retired after 40 years working in the mental health service as a mental health nurse. I have had training before in different areas of mental health rather than the clinical areas. So I'm going to set up a business now going into businesses and helping them provide a healthier environment for people with mental health problems, and also empathise and support each other, and it's like a form of team building. So if anybody's interested, I do have a Facebook page and also a LinkedIn page, but I haven't quite got onto Twitter yet or Instagram. So that's me anyway. Thank you.
Morning everyone, Nick from Project Escape. We do live escape rooms, which if you don't know, we lock people in a room with a series of puzzles, locks, Cleveland, it's great for team building. Yeah, we've just opened 2 new rooms, so come and do it.
Good morning everyone, I'm Ainsley Mullen from Redcar and Cleveland Borough Council. I offer pre-start support to anybody looking to start a business within the borough. The team also provides support for existing businesses, social enterprises, so I can see there's a few new businesses in the room. If anybody wants to chat, feel free to come give us a chat. I represent the council.
Morning everybody, I'm Laura Webster, representing the Redcar and Cleveland Borough Council. I'm a business centre officer, so if anybody's looking for any office space, please come and see me. We have the Palace Hub, we have rooms here at the Heart, and we also have South Tees Business Centre. And it was just to let you know that I do have a lovely sea view room coming up shortly, if anybody was wanting that type of office. Thank you.
Morning, I'm Karen Winsby, a group fitness instructor in East Cleveland. Saw a massive gap in the management for special needs, disability, residents and population over in Redcar and East Cleveland. I've opened a KIC, a Senses Wellbeing Centre, and with lack of provision from grants, the community are coming together to build a wellbeing centre in Skelton, and hopefully it'll be open within the next 4 months. I'd love you to spread the word about it, so anybody that you have special needs, disability, dementia, active seniors, I'm trying to create a safe space, fit for purpose, for everyone that wouldn't possibly access a leisure centre or a private gym. So with the hashtag being fitness for all. Thanks so very much.
Well done, Karen. No, it's been quite a tough journey, that one, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
My name's John. I'm part of the ETC group, which is built up with Stockton Riverside College, Redcar College, Neater Engineering, and I deal with apprenticeships with businesses, from small business to large businesses. Duo Digital's got an apprenticeship for ourselves, getting trained by Jamie Gilby. If that doesn't speak 1,000 words, I don't know what will. Any information about funding, come and see me, I'll give you my card. My colleague Becky's kind of ran off before the speech, so yeah, see me, I'll Becky out at the end.
Hi, I'm Pamela Highfield and I am More Than a Run, which is an introduction to fitness and running for beginners and returners. It's all outdoors in the fresh air. We've got some challenges running at the moment. We did some last year that were quite successful. So if anybody's wanting to join us, we're raising some money. We've got some money coming in for the Link Charitable Trust. Mind. Talk to you about that later. So it's to try and stop that money going out of the area. There's a lot of challenges on the internet, but if people want to sign up locally, get involved.
Morning guys, I'm Mike from Mathlos Personal Training. I'm offering fitness and nutrition coaching on a group basis, one-to-one basis, and also hoping to start moving into businesses and offering some group exercise and fitness coaching for them.
Hi, I'm Nick Murray. I'm from Redcar and Cleveland Mind. I'm a funding and development officer. We have a cafe which you probably know about, Something in Mind on West Dyke Road. It's available to hire as a one-off or on a weekly basis. We have a lot of groups there at the moment, so they're open to the general public. So just contact us if you want to use our space. Thanks.
Morning, Nick Calvert, Enterprise Made Simple. What we like to do is start, grow, develop businesses in the Tees Valley and North Yorkshire area. We've got a bunch of training available for people starting a business, first year of the business, growing it. So we're talking about social media, bookkeeping, time management and sales. All group workshops that we do, as well as leading to residential weekends. We've got one this weekend in Darlington, if anybody's interested in going on that, and then one later in the end of the month over near York. I'm trying to get about 40 businesses on these residential weekends, so they're a good networking opportunity for new businesses, developed businesses. I've got some cards, I'm going to have to dash at the end of this, so I'll leave these on the side. Just get in touch with us and I'll send you some details about those things. Yeah, thank you.
Morning, my name's Laing, I'm young and I'm business chic hats, and I've been training for about 10 years from the house, and I'm in the next step of opening a property, opening a shop on West Terrace. So I've come this morning just to talk to people and get some ideas and help, because that, but yes, I'm in the process of opening a new shop.
Morning, I'm Cheryl. I run a property business in Redcar. We offer accommodation for everything from temporary accommodation for people needing accommodation if they're homeless. We work with the council on that. We're also looking at developing shared houses, particularly for young people, who can't afford a full rental. We support contractors coming into the area working with British Steel, providing accommodation for some of their directors as well as your regular 1-bed, 2-bed flats, bungalows, houses, all sorts of things.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm from Satari Life and Health. I'm a Reiki therapist. I'm actually based here in the heart, offering treatments if anybody's interested.
Hi, I'm Val Hogan. I'm from Northern Skills Group, which is the training arm of Middlesbrough College. We offer the apprenticeships, full cost training. However, we also looking for any companies who may offer our full-time students some placements, and that really helps, you know, our students out because they need lots of hours. And obviously, it's a good help sometimes for businesses, and it helps them with the work placements. So, if anybody's interested, you can just have a chat later.
Hi, I'm Diana. I work for UK Steel Enterprise up at the Innovation Centre, Cleveland Business Park. There's 2 prongs to what we do. First is equity finance and investment funding, and I do property side. So if you're looking for office or workshop space, our terms are easy in, easy out. We've just finished a major refurbishment, so we've got lots of bright new offices. So if you're interested, come and see me.
Good morning, my name's Don Atkinson. I'm from Northern Skills, which is, as Val said, part of Middlesbrough College. I'm a training advisor. I look after apprentices in commercial training and competency. Very much working at the moment with the 3,000 people that's going to arrive on Teesside next month for the Savick shutdown. So there's lots of opportunities, not just for what we do, but there'll be lots of contractors looking for accommodation, and they'll be spending the money, I would imagine, on food and all that sort of thing. So lots of positive things going to happen in Teesside, but that's the first big wave when Savick goes out next month for 2 months.
Thank you.
Sorry,
David?
just a quick one.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I didn't do a runner because I don't like public speaking. I've just not been feeling very well. Sorry, my name's Becky. I work at Redcar College, which is part of the ETC group. My role is to support employers in the area finding apprenticeships, and similar finding young people in the area employers so they can compete in apprenticeships. So, yeah.
I'll just hand over to these 2 ladies as well. If you wanted to introduce yourself briefly.
Yeah, I'm Tracy Watson. I'm here from Tees Valley Combined Authority. Redcar and Cleveland Council have asked Glyn and I to attend today to let you know that we are the EU transition support team for Tees Valley. So if anybody, it's twofold. If anybody has any concerns or want to speak to us about anything to do with the EU transition, then we will leave our cards and we can have a chat on a one-to-one basis. Or if you have any concerns or you want to pass any feedback, we also feed back information back into the government as well. So so a two-way process. We'll be around for a bit afterwards if you want to take our cards. That's us. And Lynn as well.
Thank you. I'm going to hand over to David now from the Clucking Pig. Enjoy the presentation.
Morning everybody. My name's David Laing. My wife and I run the Clucking Pig Gourmet Scotch Egg Company. Some of you may be aware of us, a lot of you may not, but you'll find us at local farmers markets, food festivals, etc. I'm doing a presentation. I've done all this myself, so I've had no outside help with it. I want to pose you a question first, and then if anyone can guess who this person I'm talking about is, just let me know. At 5-year-old, his father died. At 17, he'd already lost 4 jobs. At 18, he got married. Between 18 and 22, he was a train conductor and failed. He joined the army, got dismissed. He applied for law school and he was rejected. He became an insurance salesman and failed again. 19, he became a dad. 20, his wife left him and took the daughter. He became a cook and dishwasher in a small cafe. He failed in an attempt to kidnap his own daughter and eventually convinced his wife to return home. At age 65, he retired. On the first day of retirement, he got his benefits. He felt that the government was saying that he couldn't provide for himself, so he decided to commit suicide. Life wasn't worth living anymore. He had failed so much. He sat under a tree writing his will, but instead he wrote what he would have accomplished with his life. He realised that there was much more that he hadn't yet done. There was one thing he could do better than anyone he knew, and that was how to cook. I'm not 65. So he borrowed some money and bought and fried up some food using his special recipe and went door to door selling them to his neighbours. Remember, at 65, he was ready to commit suicide. At 88, he was a billionaire. Who am I?
Colonel Sanders.
Well done. So it's not too late for whatever age you are to start afresh. So I had my own career. I retired when I was in 2002, and I only had one job. I started when I was 16, and I went through it, and I was just totally in one way. I didn't know anything else. I had no training. I had no apprenticeship in anything else apart from the job which I used to do. So when I left, I thought, God, what am I going to do? I had a small pension, I had a small lumper. We've got a small holding on Grewgrass Lane. So I thought, God, what am I going to do? So eventually, I'll come back to what I did before we started this. But what I did was that we had a load of chickens. We got ex-battery hens. So these battery hens started laying lots of eggs. So we got invited to go to Saltburn Farmers Market. So we started a stall at the farmers market selling eggs. Now, what I decided to do, because I'm quite outgoing, that you've got to try and sell what you're doing. You've got to try and sell yourself so people have got an attraction to come to see what you're doing. And I started off at home in my kitchen. One of the things what I always try and go on about is to buy British food. There's a lot of food out there which you don't know the source of it, and we all know what happened with the horse meat scandal. So try and buy your local foods. Every week you can go to a farmer's market within a few miles, and you can buy your eggs, your meats, everything what you want. Obviously you do have to use supermarkets, but try and use your local foods. This is me and Christine when we started off at Saltburn Farmers Market selling eggs. And if you notice there, we've got pinnies on with eggs, with chickens on, and we're just trying to promote a nice front. You can see there, it's Christmas time. We've dressed our stall up. This is our original stall, this, an old cast iron, lockable market stall, which we had to put together in a freezing cold. And when you're handling a market stall at 6 o'clock in the morning, it's not very pleasant. But as you can see, we've got our eggs up there. I've got pickled onions. We've got pickled eggs. We actually got the Guinness World Record for eating 3 pickled eggs in a minute at Saltburn Farmers Market. Guinness, what we thought we'd try and do was that we would try and encourage something around for the Saltburn area for local people to get involved. So I made the eggs, but I added a bit of chilli to it, so I just made it a bit more interesting. So we had lots of people trying, and we actually got the world record. A guy from Saltburn, who unfortunately I'm not so sure whether he's still with us now, not down to me, but it was down to a few other things. But he actually broke the world record for eating 3 pickled eggs in a minute. And it was very interesting. This is us, this is how we started on that stall. This is at Saltburn Farmers Market. It's all about presentation, about how you communicate with people. I started off in my kitchen. We just started off with eggs, that pan, and that size pan is exactly what I still use today. And we are talking sometimes on a weekend, I'll do 2,000 eggs. But it's the effort and the time that you put into it, and you only get out of it what you put into it. That's for every business. Boiling and peeling and boiling. That was my kitchen before my wife says, no more, that's it, you're going to get out. Now we're very lucky enough that we've got a small holding, and I have some garages at the side of our house. And I had them for storage, so I decided to clean them all out. And I started off with one kitchen, I converted one garage, and I just put in what we earned from the market to put it back into moving the business forward. These are the fryers which we use. It's just ordinary fryers. Now I've got 6 of these now, and I can cook 36 at a time. They're the ones which are just coming out, cook 6 at a time in there. I'm just showing you through how we go all through it all. Now these are bread trays which I've borrowed from a bakery about a number of years ago. They never asked for them back. So, So this is how we take them to market, or we'll take them to a deli, and we present them on the market stalls like this. Now, one of the things what you'll have to be aware of, if you're doing an outward type of, if you're getting involved with food and you're selling it to the public, be aware of plagiarism, because we are getting plagiarised all over now. I've never known so many Scotch egg companies coming, but no one's done what we've done. And that's why it's important that you never give up what you're trying to achieve, because it's so important. Now, when I said about showcasing yourself when you're doing an event or something out there, you've got to really go that extra mile. This is a Halloween event, and it was at Stewart's Park. We won the best farmers market stall for that particular event because we took the time out to get dressed up. Well, that's not how we normally are, but that's what we took. We got real pumpkins, we got these, dressed up. So we did it all, and that just helped the sales, and helped us do what we do today. Exactly the same at Christmas. You dress your stall up, and what it is, it's just that you're creating. Somebody walks onto a market or into a shopping centre, and they'll see something which is really attractive. Well, semi-attractive, but you go there and you say, right, well, he's taken time out. He's taken time to think about it, and that's exactly what we do. These are just some of the events which we do. Hopefully I get invited back this year at the Festival of Thrift, and hopefully it'll continue for many a year, because it is one of the best setups that we have in this area. Festival of Thrift, it's really, really good. Now, this guy, this is what you've got to do. You've got to dare to believe. We were at an event in Harrogate a couple of years ago, well, 2016, and we were showcasing what we were doing. We were selling on this event, and I knew Greg Wallace was there, and he was doing a talk. So I wasn't afraid of doing anything. So I took him some Scotch eggs. So he had them with a beer, and he retweeted to all his followers about our Scotch eggs. So you've got to, if you're going anywhere, take them a sample, take them something of yours, and just say thank you, and it just gets into their mind. So you've got to be very, very proactive. Right, Sunderland University, yes, it's Prince Andrew, but what that was a pitch at the Palace. Yes, I know, I'm not going into all that. But this was an opportunity, and what I say about opportunities is that you don't turn your opportunities down. You go to your opportunities and you think, wow, I'll make the most of it. He awarded us Entrepreneur of the Week. We got a good certificate from the royal family, and we got orders, and we're still ordering now, and we're still sending them to the royal family. Not particularly him, but to the royal family. We then got an invite to Buckingham Palace. I had to turn it down the first time because we were on holiday. I got an email back saying, can you come at any other date? I said, well, see where we can fit in. So we went in, we drove in through those gates. I had 2 boxes, cool boxes of Scotch eggs. I was never checked. They never looked in the boxes, armed guards, all the rest of it. We went in. We went into the side gate. We went up to an oak panelled lift with a sofa in it. Walked right the way along the whole length of the palace into a room. Met the Queen's chef. He tried them, and what this is overall is it's a positive message to say, look, if you don't have a go, you're not going to get anywhere. And we were just lucky enough in the right place and have the right product, and we spoke right to these people, and we got an invite. We then got an invite to the House of Commons. Now, this was part of Yorkshire Food. We were building our business up, and people liked what we did, and we promoted it on social media. Social media is fantastic. You've got to use social media if you're promoting what you're doing. So we went there, we supplied a number of the MPs down there, and they loved what we did. So it's just another part of your social media. Now, for the next one, if this is all that you take away from this particular presentation, Can you read that? It says, Redcar Scotch egg maker wins praise from Dragon's Den businessman Theo Perfidus. We've met him each year. He runs a business called Small Business Sunday. I cannot reiterate that information more. Basically, check out Small Business Sunday run by Theo Perfidus. What he does, he promotes small businesses. And we are 1% of 300,000 businesses who have applied to Small Business Sunday. If he likes your business, he retweets your business to 500,000 of his followers. You then get invited down to Birmingham, the ICC in Birmingham, every year, and you have your photograph taken with Theo Perfidus. Now, that sort of promotion is priceless. What I do, as I wasn't afraid of doing, was that a couple of weeks before the event, I contact their office and ask them for, when is Theo going to be in the office in Wimbledon? So I send them down every year a box of Scotch eggs, and then he retweets that he's had that for his lunch. It's priceless and it's free, it doesn't cost anything. It is a really, really good platform. So when you tweet your business, when you tweet your business, it's on a Sunday between 5 and 7:30. So every Sunday, think about tweeting. Check it out first, get all the information, and you've got to think about something quirky about your business. Something a bit different, which makes yours stand out. And it's a fantastic networking event. So if anybody wants to get involved, it's really, really well worth it. Following our Buckingham Palace trip, we got invited to St James's Palace to an event down there, and we supplied them down there. Same again at St James's Palace, we were down there. Anyone know who lives at Wood Farm? Sandringham? Prince Philip lives there. We've been supplying Prince Philip down there for 3 years now. We actually drove down there the first year because we couldn't believe we'd even got an invite. And the Bobby on the gate, on the entrance in there says, "Are you the Scotch egg man?" And that's how, but what it is, you never take that, never knock any opportunities what you've got, and you're never ever too old to do what you do. I'm 61. I only started this doing Scotch eggs in 2008. I've got a passion for it. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. I'm always looking for new opportunities. We're doing lots of farmers markets. We're doing lots of delis in the area. We supply Redcar, we supply Saltburn, we're supplying Rockcliffe Hall now, we're supplying Brooks in Richmond, Gisworth. So we're doing quite a number of them. Stokesay Farmers Market, if anyone wants a Scotch egg, we're there this next week. There in Hovingham. Orange Pit Market in Middlesbrough. I think there's a bit of unknown yet whether that's going to continue, because the powers that be at Middlesbrough Borough Council have decided to change the stall fees from 35 quid to 130. That unfortunately is what is happening, and if there's anyone from the council here, about charging exorbitant fees for stall holders, for small businesses, please take that on board, because we are pulling out quite a lot, because we know that you've got expenses, we know that you've got a lot of things to cover, but don't take it out on small businesses. Stewart's Park Farmers Market, again, that's where if you showcase yourself, that's how you're going to do it. Saltburn Food Festival is all what we know. That's happening on the 26th of July, I think, this year. It does get very, very busy. That's from the first year. They've now opened it up into the square, so it gives it a lot more space. So if that's a date for your diary, please make sure that you go to that, because it's a fantastic event, especially if it's a nice day. One thing that we won 2 years ago, and we've been nominated as a finalist this year, is to Eton Game. Now, I don't know whether anybody has Eton Game here, enjoys game, but there are a couple of spare samples up in that back corner later on, with black pudding and some venison. What we did is that we won an award where it was the best farmers market stall in the UK selling game products. And you were invited down to an event in London. Adam Henson JB Gill of JLS. The whole point of these is that you showcasing what you're doing, people will pick it up on social media. People will invite you to do different things, as this has come along here. You just showcase what you're doing because you never know what's around the corner, and you never know what business you can get out of what you're doing. You know, you never know the orders which you can get in. So, and you showcase what you're doing. You've got to showcase and promote, you know, all the things what you've done. I know sometimes there's not enough room on the stall, but you do that next to, so what I'm doing it there, I've got wild Yorkshire rabbit with black pudding and venison, mixed game, and the Game Awards, so you're highlighting that in front of that particular product, so they can see that you must be doing something right. Right, that is basically about that. My previous job, I was a policeman. And when I said about a career, when I started I was 16, and then I retired at 2002. So I didn't know anything else what to do. So I was a policeman in Redcar and Cleveland. I was at South Bank and Middlesbrough, and I called it a day in 2002. When I retired, I had a year off rebuilding what we have in Grewgrass Lane, and I worked for Disney. I was actually Minnie Mouse's bodyguard. I was actually Minnie Mouse's bodyguard as well. Running security on the cruise ship. These characters all exist, you know, don't knock them, you know, they're really good. But what an opportunity I had. So I did that for 4.5 years. It was 12 hours on, 12 hours off every day, and I did it for that length of time, and it just, you know, it tired you out. So after 2006, that's terrible, that. So now, this is a guy up in Newcastle who we supplied for doing corporate events. So we are available for corporate events. We can supply any numbers what you want. For Saltburn Farmers Market on a food festival, our most we've done is 2,500 in one day. But it shows you when I started, I was doing 70. So if you put your mind and effort to it, it works. I employ 4 local people. I work with them. They're all people who have got family lives. They work around me, and I work around them. We've got shelf lives on how we can do our Scotch eggs, so it works really, really well. And it's only me who gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning and starts cooking before an event. But the girls who work for me, we have a great time. You know, they can come in and choose the times that they want to do it, and it helps them really well. A couple of other celebrities who we've met at different places. Anyone know these two? Gogglebox. Anyone watch the Yorkshire Vet? The old couple on the Yorkshire Vet. He's 94, and Jeannie on there. What they are, they're just like characters and things like that. You just promote what you're doing, and they will remember. They will tell their friends. It's just taking that opportunity. And I think this is our last one. This is where we live. They were our holiday lodges. They were our chickens before they've gone to the big chicken farm in the sky. And we just operate from home. If you can operate from home, you'll save a lot of overheads. But the overall thing is never ever think that you're too old, you haven't got the get up and go. Always take time out and just plan and try and push what you're doing, because if you believe in it, it will work. It really will work. Thank you very much. Thanks, it's a pleasure.
We're just a little bit behind, so I'm going to swap over to Lauren. But if you've got any questions for David, I know he's going to be hanging around, and he mentioned some samples.
Some samples on the back if you want to try.
I hope you found that inspirational. I've picked up a few tips in there as well, which is really helpful.
I was just thinking, I hope everyone's had the breakfast. I'll be starving now.
Thanks very much,
Thank
Lauren.
you.
You're welcome.
So, good morning everyone. My name's Lauren. I'm the chair of Parks Alive Foundation. So we're a very new organisation, so the chances are you probably haven't heard of us yet. So I'll just give you a little bit more information. So Parks Alive, as I said, that we're very new. We've been designed to enhance 8 parks and green spaces across Redcar and Cleveland. So we'll be working in partnership with Redcar and Cleveland Council. Our aim is to increase visitors to the parks and the green spaces. We also want to improve the events that are already running, work with the groups that are part of the parks already to kind of put on new events, look at the facilities and how we kind of develop those, and also attract additional funding. So with the council structure, there's funding pots that they just aren't eligible to apply for. So hopefully we can bring in more funding to this area for community spaces that the local people use. So the council's responsibility is that they will still own the land, and the current level of maintenance that they do, that will continue and that will be their responsibility. So we won't be finding funding to kind of just cover what they're already doing. So our responsibility at Parks Alive is to focus on the events, making them much better, making the parks enjoyable spaces for people to use, and also being a big part of future development. So with the local businesses, and I've heard some great organisations here, that's brilliant to hear that all this is going on across Redcar and Cleveland. So some of the ones that you'll know within the parks is the shops and the cafes that you see. So our vision at Parks Alive, we want to put the parks and green spaces at the heart of our communities. That's really, really important for us. We want them to all be places that people can visit and enjoy being there in a safe and welcoming environment. Our mission, so this is to run kind of successful management of the parks, and we want to promote the parks so more and more people are going to be using them, and we'll be working in partnership to have kind of that greater community feel with the local public but also businesses as well. Our aims, these are to look after the parks across Redcar and Cleveland. We want them all to be attractive and enjoyable spaces, so I know that Karen has kindly handed out some questionnaires, so it would be great to get your feedback, because I think we've had very mixed reactions of what people currently think of the parks. And that's one of our priorities, to kind of be involved in the future developments of them, and just make sure that they're up to the standard that the general public want to be using. We want to make sure that people can use them to be active and also for learning purposes. So this is kind of if you want to take your children there, or there's certain things that you can do for your own hobbies. But also I'm quite passionate with working with young people, and I was speaking to a lady over there that is the same, where young people can come along and kind of learn about the history, the culture of their area, and also things like nature. So these are our values. We had a group session with the Board of Trustees, deciding kind of why we were involved in this, what our parks and green spaces mean to us. We're all local people, and kind of what we thought that our foundation should stand for. So we came up with community focus, because we felt like, because we're all local people, we wanted to be a voice for the local community. We didn't just want to be deciding kind of what should be involved in the parks. We wanted to hear from the local community and almost be a voice there and help achieve what they wanted. Be collaborative, obviously working with the local community, the councils, and also local businesses. Creative with the ideas, so we had heard that some ideas had been suggested and hadn't taken off, and people weren't sure why, and thought that it was a great idea. So we wanted to be open, to be creative within the parks. Environmental and ethical is obviously huge for us, and it should be with anybody being involved in management of parks and green spaces. And also inclusive, so there's lots of things already in the parks for people, but there's still lots of people that don't use the parks, and what we wanted to do was find out why that was the case and see what we could change in there just to make sure that the parks are available for everybody to use. And then this is our lovely team. So yeah, all local. There's myself. My background is I'm from Redcar and Cleveland. Grew up using the parks, and we've got James there, who he is from Tees Valley Arts. So he's got a lot of knowledge, kind of running charitable organisations himself. Steve in the middle there. He's retired. He was a police officer across Redcar and Cleveland, so he knows the community quite well, he knows about the green spaces, and also he knows about the barriers and challenges for our area. Brian Wall there, he works as the funding manager for Zoe's Place. He's also very local, I think he lives in Eston at the moment, so he's going to be absolutely vital for us securing that additional funding. And then Jeremy is part of the Wildlife Trust. So he is obviously very knowledgeable about charitable organisations in general, but then also we really want that kind of environmental, wildlife and nature aspect to it, which Jeremy will bring. And then these are, so obviously you might be thinking that there's a lot more than 8 parks and green space across Redcar and Cleveland, which there is. When the first discussion started about the Parks Alive Foundation and what it would cover, there was only supposed to be 3 parks and green spaces. That got pushed up to 8 because we felt like we could manage more, and we actually wanted to have a bigger impact in the area. And obviously we're hoping in the future we'll be able to grow that so that then we can help take care of more of the parks and green spaces. But just to start off with, I'll just name the 8 that we're currently looking after. So we've got Flats Lane Woodland Country Park, Gisborough Forest, we've got Lock Park, King George Playing Fields, Eston Recreation Ground, Zetland Park, Borough Park, and Marshall Drive Playing Fields. So you probably know or live around some of these parks or already use them. So we would absolutely love you to be involved in helping us on this journey, whether it's from the business side of things, of how you can use it to promote your businesses or be involved with it. Or also I heard somebody saying about team building days, you know, maybe use your local park, use it for things like that. But also as somebody within the general public, we would really love to hear your thoughts. So everybody will have a leaflet. We've got some of these posters if anybody would like them for their businesses. You know, please feel free to take one. That would be really helpful. And we've also got the questionnaires, which that will be helping us put together what the communities actually want and want us to start focusing on within the parks. So this is for people that do already currently use the parks, but also if you don't use the parks, please tell us why, so then we can start addressing that and, well, as I said, kind of make it inclusive. So just to finish off, here's our details. Have a look on our website. Obviously we're very new, so it's a work in progress. So if you do have any questions about it or can't find information that you were hoping to, that's our email address. And I'll be staying around as well at the end if anybody has any questions. So thank you for your time.
Just while I'm bringing the slides back up here, I promised just a couple of minutes. If anybody's got any shout-outs they'd like to mention about the business, any events, any special offers. Ainsley.
We have an event that was postponed from earlier in the month due to our IT issues from the 31st of March. It's on the 31st of March. It's at Redcar Racecourse. It's the business growth event, business growth surgery. So what we've got 22 business support agencies under one roof. Everybody can get half an hour appointment with them, but you do need to book an Eventbrite. There's a number of kind of different agencies, from funding, from property, from Department of International Trade, to different sort of support mechanisms, loads of different services under one roof, so it can really help you take your business to the next level. But also for those pre or early stage businesses, there's a lot of pre-start support there as well. All right. So it's on Eventbrite if you need anything.
just add in that Tracy and I are going to be there.
All right, okay, yeah.
The transition team, we've been talking to Claire. So we're going to be available for appointments if anybody has anything specific that they want to discuss, or just double check. Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Northern Skills Group have got Skills for Breakfast talking about T-levels. T-levels are for our advanced learners, level 3 learners, who need over 400 hours in the workplace. And it's just an update on how the changes are coming for these T-levels. It's on the 26th of March. It starts at 8 o'clock. You get tea, coffee and pastries on arrival. That might include you. And it is on Eventbrite, but if anybody wants any information on it, I've got a few leaflets here.
Thank you.
It is a lot of changes.
Redcar listeners, close your ears, because it's all about mask. The Tour de Yorkshire Roadshow, for anyone in Mask or in an area that's maybe not on the route of the Tour de Yorkshire but who wants to get involved in the community, is on the 16th of March at 6 o'clock in Mask Leisure Centre. We're going to be decorating obviously the whole borough, and I'll be focusing on it all, but living in Mask will be bunting. We've got bikes, we're going to try and make signs, and you're from near Mask, you can...
Mask, Redcar.
Yeah, so that's on the 16th. It's only just been confirmed at 6 o'clock in Mask Leisure Centre, if anyone wants to come along and see how they can get involved.
Anybody else? Oh, a little bit quiet this month. I think there's a lot going on, but if you don't want to sort of stand up, just tag us in on Facebook and Twitter. So Redcar and Cleveland Business Network, just do the @ symbol, and you'll find us on Facebook, and it's @Biz Network RC. It's on here anyway, and also the hashtags, hashtag Business Redcar Cleveland. I've spotted somebody in the audience, Richard. Richard, do you want to say about how to be an ambassador quickly?
Yes, you may have seen on the slide there, it's a simple process. You just go onto the website, the place website, which is redcarcleveland.co.uk. On the ambassador section, there's a simple online form. It takes a minute or two to sign up, so dead easy. So if you haven't already, then please do so.
Yeah, you get a government link back to your website, which is absolutely valuable when it comes to search engine optimization. So that's the marketing tip of the day. So it's free to do. So just go to redcarcleveland.co.uk, go to the menu, join up as an ambassador. You don't have to do anything. Just talk positively about the area. That's it. I think that's everything. I just want to thank Brian, David from Clucking Pig, and also Lauren from Parks Alive. Please fill out your surveys, and please go and taste the Scotch eggs as well. Enjoy the time for networking. We do have to be out of the room by 10 to 9, which I'm a little bit pressured this morning, so we've just been told. So 10 to 9 we have to be out of the room because somebody else is going to be coming in. But please do help us out to teas and coffees and have a chat with each other. Thank you very much. We'll see you in May. We're taking a break next month, but you'll get an invite for the next one. Thank you very much.